Uh, is up, Cyber Traders? Welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to make sure everybody can hear me loud and clear. Should be good to go across all systems here. No technical issues here. Cross my fingers as I say that, though. Good to see Andre, Mark, Brian, Leda, Mark C. all joining us here inside our live trading room. Good to go from them. Good to go from all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. So with that in mind, folks, we are actually continuing the Phase 2 stock course coming up later on today at 3:05 Eastern Time. So we're going to actually be talking more about historical charting, just how you could use the daily chart, weekly, and monthly even to your advantage when it comes to day trading, when it comes to finding actively strong historical levels for a trade. So right now, Sarah, it's on our screen to begin. SERA making a continued push up from yesterday, actually. So strong run. Love to see it at the highs. It's pretty choppy around here. So you know what? We're going to teach this coming up later on today, but is there a pretty strong level to work off of here right around this 310-ish? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I didn't check on Sarah just yet, so I'm going to find out right now in front of you. Looks like this ended up peaking right around back from early to mid-August around 285 there. I mean, it was chopping around that price earlier. It wasn't even that strong, seemingly. So, really, there isn't much of a clear, definitive historical level. Not up until maybe here, like right around 350. I know there was a little dip point here, right around 296, right around 309 there. But in terms of consistency, just seeing a specific series of bottoms or tops holding right around that 350-ish, 350, 355-ish. If the stars could truly align on this one, if this could really run up that much higher, I would certainly say, just looking at that series back from March into April of last year, you should see right around that 350-ish be a really strong top. So I'll put this on our watch list just to start the Sarah trade, SERA. All right, been on the stick for about 4 hours today so far, folks. Got another hour and a half ahead of me, so I look forward to it. But little water break right there. Let's hop right across the top of the gainer side right now. Let's build up our watch list here, taking us into the afternoon. You know what? Actually, really quick, I'm going to jump to one. I'm going to jump to one actually first because I'd called it out before we started this meeting, and I wrote it inside our live trading room. It's not on either the gainers or the loser side, but it was one from yesterday, and it was on my side list here going into the day. And especially now, I'm going to put this on our main list. This TNON stock, it was a runner, a pop, and a run from yesterday. Ended up closing, well, pretty much where it's at now. 218. So the more this can kind of break over and needle above this 218, it should lead to a stronger pop. I thought 210, 211 was a pretty big level from yesterday. So let me bring this up on the Tonin trade here. You have 210, about 160,000 share block print filled at that price yesterday. You would have thought that at this point it would have made a stronger run off of that level, but perhaps it needs to break over the closing price. So that being off 218, it just looks strong. It's not up or down a whole lot, but I was talking about this going into the afternoon meeting for all of us inside the trading room. So I'll just add this to our list as well. Now let's go from top to bottom, no otherwise. Let's kind of just see what else is out there. I think Lunar and TA are both buyouts. Maybe not on Lunar. This thing made a big pop earlier, but now it's moving sideways. Now it's moving kind of more within that range. But yeah, this TA is definitely a buyout. Move on from that. All right, Box D. We actually traded the stock like a year and a half, 2 years ago, or something of that nature. Like, just made a huge run up at one point, and I could tell the stock has been reverse split probably a couple times since. It was not like even a $14 stock back then. It was like a dollar, $2 stock a year and a half ago. So the stock has definitely been split since that point. It's a cheapie, pretty nicely on the intraday, but just want to give it a look. That's all. CYH, nice move back up. It was called out earlier, like in the early to mid morning, good time, but it was on a bad spread and it had a nasty shake. It was like pretty well timed with me saying, hey, be careful. It could make a sudden 20-cent shake. And well, it just did like a minute after I said it. So thankfully, since this stock not only has moved up, but well, the order book's filled in a lot more. So seems like it's on a better spread. Seems like it's just a little bit less like crazy out there in terms of the liquidity. I would assume resistance to be off of 8, but also there seems to be a smaller order right around 803, 799 there. So, I would still assume 8 to be a pretty big level. Give it a false break off that price first and then see if it could pull back down. But looks good. All right. AMAM making another move back up towards the VWAP price right off 288. You could actually tell that on my TradeStation platform here. I didn't mention that in class earlier today. We were kind of showing bookmap using the VWAP price. But on my TradeStation matrix little demo here, just the price in blue, the bright blue right there at 288 seemingly. That's the VWAP price. So it's moving here now. This type of trade, though, ended up making a pop and drop earlier, trading 44.5 plus million shares today. I don't know what the float is. I'd imagine for it to be tiny. The stock prior to this pop it had back in the beginning of December was only trading about 100,000 plus shares a day on average. So, I would say it's pretty exhausted at this point. It could be a good sideless stock to check back in on later if there's like literally nothing else moving. And, if we happen to see this continue to hold here, then it could be an option. But let's see what else we got here first. At the HOTH stock, the stock back from the end of last year made a big pop for us back then, dumped back down. I think it's done that over the years, actually, from what I recall. But nevertheless, it's making a nice move back up now, broke a new high just before, and we could be seeing support build. So, this is a lot better of a trade, in my opinion, so far to follow. I'll definitely put this on our list here, too. Just for those keeping track at home right now, we're going to post the list once we finish up this meeting. But we got 4 stocks on there so far. The Sarah, this HOTH here, the Tonin, TNON, and TH. All right. Got 4 on there so far. See what else we got, though. Couple cheapies here in Sorrento. I didn't realize how beat up Sorrento got since, like, COVID, since pandemic. I mean, you'd figure for, a vaccine stock to not really produce in terms of vaccine results. They ended up dropping off back then, but this thing took such a hit, fell below $1. I don't know what happened to this back last week, or maybe even back on Monday this week it was. Took a huge hit. Jeez. Um, I'm sure at some point in time there'll be a dead cat bounce, but don't hold your breath waiting for it. Jeez, that thing got demolished. The NEXI stock, speaking of getting demolished on the intraday chart, filling the gap basically, right? Had a big pump early, but then dumped back down. This INZY stock actually was pretty nice to us early in pre-market. So I don't know why my 5-minute chart's not showing pre-market data there. There we go. The stock had a nice push early this morning in pre-market. It was really liquid too. So I was pretty unfamiliar with the stock myself going into the open. Never really traded this one before. So I appreciated the fact that this was pretty liquid. It still is for the most part. It's just not really moving in a good direction. So I'm not going to follow it right now. But, hey, if it shows better signs of life tomorrow or next week, if it has good liquidity, all right, I'll be a little bit more interested. All right. What else we got though here in the meantime here on the gainer side? ADXN, not much happening there. Onvo. FSLY was moving up nicely earlier today, really from the morning up until now, as you could see. Still trading good volume per minute, a lot of volume per minute. The stock is trading actively and holding near the highs. So it's hard for us to not put this on our main list here too. All right, I gotta catch my marker here. My scanners always refresh on me. I don't know if that's like a trade station glitch or what, but all right, here we are now. NTRA had been called out earlier, but now it's flat. And Roku had a great run up earlier this morning. I'm very thankful for us to follow this trade earlier. I don't normally trade a more expensive stock, but in terms of liquidity, this isn't bad. We traded a lot cheaper stocks that have similar liquidity. So in terms of kind of correlating the two, this is pretty good. Very liquid stock, trades a lot of volume per day, just over 7 million shares a day. So I was hopeful to see a clean trend, and we got it. Just at this point now, it's just not really looking too great. Lower high off that 75 roughly. All right, so markets are up. Definitely a lot more that's on the gainer side here. So let's see if there's anything else looking just as good. I'll hop over to the loser side shortly after. My sober trade from earlier this morning, my first trade across the whole day was a 3 or 4 cent loss on sober from that 290. Ended up moving back up a little bit, but I didn't really focus on it after. It was a really good day altogether. Actually, on a couple stocks that the AI stocks all dumped. It was kind of bad now, but from the morning session, it was a pretty sweet run up. So we did pretty good across the morning, but a lot of these trades now all together are going to be kind of washed up. Not a whole lot looking too active really. We have a good list already. So, all right, let's hop over to the loser side here, seeing if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. I got RNG shortable within my price range. Just not really looking too great of a trend. So pass there, pass on TOST. Obviously, Shopify, we've had our focus on from the morning session. Dropped off pretty good after the open, right? We want to follow that trend going into the open. Pretty odd, though, just because they reported pretty good earnings. Shopify, I think what happened was it was the adjusted or what's called the GAAP earnings. It's different than the standard, but they ended up kind of causing the negative reaction from the after hours yesterday into this morning. But now at this point, with the markets still trending at the highs and this actually over $45, there is a chance for this to be a bit of a dead cat bounce. Just I feel like there could be better opportunities across the board, but if I need to put shop on our main list at the bottom, I'll do it. We only have 5 on there so far. I definitely anticipate 45 to be a good level, though. Upwork could be a good short, just to wish it was closer to the lows of the day right now. Just kind of flat though here. Mhm, mhm. TWOU kind of close to those lows there. That I appreciate, but it's only trading 608,000 shares total on the day, and just it's not really doing a whole lot. That's actually like less than its average at this point, so it's kind of like ho hum right now. Potentially could be a short, but we want to follow big money at least too, right? All right, stock skin up and down. This thing went today. Bird, not much happening there. I mean, a little drop, but oh, I meant to click on TripAdvisor. There you go. My damn scanner refreshing on me once again. All right, lower highs here, but it's not doing a whole lot right now as far as like dropping back down again. So we're gonna pass on this trade too. All right, so folks, I'll tell you, we got a good list altogether. That makes 6 stocks in total. So I added Shopify there at the end. But let me know if there's anything else up, down, left, right, more than 5% that you'd want me to look at, and we'll just see what's out there. Got class coming up one last time, folks, coming up at 3:05 Eastern, continuing the phase 2 stock course. We're going to be talking all about historical charting, like I said, daily, weekly, monthly chart, how you could use that in terms of day trading. So there's lots to digest coming up with that. I look forward to it. All right, just checking Benzinga Pro before we wrap this up. What was it, APLT? That's going nowhere. All right, I can already tell we're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel here. Just if this is what Benzinga Pro is showing me here, I think that we're at the bottom of the barrel. All right. Yep. CISO. We got this grill trade. All right. I think that's pretty much it, folks. SI. Nice little drop off on this. I saw this on the losers spectrum of the scanner I have here. Hey, if you got the shares to short this, then go for it because it looks really good. I've just been led to believe this has been virtually impossible to borrow over the last few days. But if you could get shares to short this, then definitely give it a shot. It's down over 16%, running down really well. I'll put it on our list for those that can. How about that? All right, so hey, folks, for all of us on social media, hey, be a friend, tell a friend. Just join us on YouTube each and every weekday, Monday to Friday. Go right down to youtube.com/cyber trading you. Like and subscribe on our YouTube page so you know when we're going live. And otherwise, if you wanted to join us inside our live trading room, go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream right there to get yourself set up. Any questions prior to joining us here? I always like to post my email at the end of these streams, josh@c2trading.com. But otherwise, though, for Ravina and for Lita and for Mark and Michael and Kathleen and Roger, I look forward to seeing you folks coming up in the Phase 2 class. For those of us not joining me going into the close, best of luck trading here in the Cyber Group room. Take care.